The man who spearheaded the Brexit movement is laying down a gauntlet to British Prime Minister Theresa May over her plan for a so-called soft Brexit. In fact, Nigel Farage threatening to return as the leader of the Independence Party unless Brexit is put back on track. And the man himself joins us, Fox News contributor Nigel Farage, via the telephone. Sir, thanks for joining us.
Good evening.
I know it's been a crazy, hectic day for you. Just to remind the audience, there's been an avalanche of departures from May's cabinet, including Boris Johnson, who said that in his mind, Britain is, quote, headed for the status of a colony. Certainly that's not what you had in mind when you helped as one of the architects of the Brexit plan.
No, that's right. I mean, look, I spent 25 years trying to promote the argument that the European Union was a globalist project that would take away our liberty, our freedoms, our democracy, and that's exactly what it did. And I forced it. I led a rebellion in British politics, unlike anything seen in modern times. I forced the Conservative government to give us a referendum, despite everything, all the big companies, President Obama, everybody coming and telling us not to vote Brexit. We voted Brexit. And I said, look, I'm not a career politician. I got into this to try and change our country's history. I felt I'd done it. And now, Mrs. May, our Prime Minister, presented a plan to her own cabinet last Friday that, frankly, would do nothing less than betray everything the country had voted for. Now, I was very critical over the weekend of Boris and others, saying, come on, guys, you can't just stand there and allow this to happen. And I'm delighted that Boris has said what he said. And now, I think what is vital for Brexit to happen and for the UK to regain its independence as a nation and to be able to sign a free trade deal with America and our other friends in the world is Mrs. May has to go.
So for the audience, 48 Conservative members of Parliament would have to all agree on this vote of confidence for May. And a lot of people are saying that the clock is just ticking down, that there's probably not enough time or enough votes there. Are they wrong again?
Well, let's see. Commentators are usually wrong in my experience of life. I think, rather like polling companies, they're always wrong, aren't they? I mean, do you remember it was a 98.1% chance on Huffington Post of Hillary winning the election? So, hey, let's not take this stuff too seriously. I hope and believe that 48 Conservative MPs will say, let's have a vote of confidence, and that vote of confidence, I hope, is big enough. What I know in my heart is that if this woman stays as Prime Minister, we will not get control back of our borders, our laws, our courts, and our money. It'll be a fudge and a compromise, and will leave us in a very bad place. I want us to be independent. I want us to be free. And I particularly place emphasis on the relationship with America.
Right.
I think because of our shared culture, listen, we have different accents, but hey, we've got an awful lot in common. And I think that a trade deal between the UK and the US could be something in the years to come that is great for both of us. We have to be free of the Brussels bureaucrats to do that.
Nigel, Theresa May earlier put up a vigorous defense of her decisions. Let's let the audience take a listen to it, and I want to get your reaction.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we don't have that. It was in the House of Commons. I'm sure you, though, probably heard her defense of her decision making. Yes. What do you think is driving her? And is this just a reminder that the establishment elites on both sides of the Atlantic have such deep pockets and such powerful connections that they're going to be tough to truly ever move out of the way?
Look, let's be honest. Brexit, Trump, and now the Italian elections of this year. These are three major global shocks that the globalists, the big businesses, the multinationals, the career politicians, they don't accept it. They try to find excuses for why it happened. They dream up stories of Russian collusion. They accuse us all of lying. The truth of it is they want to keep the world as it is, and the people want change. They're trying to stop change, and sadly, in my country, despite this revolution called Brexit, the person that became Prime Minister was one of the Remain campaign. And she is now playing a highly duplicitous role. That clip that you couldn't play is where she still says we will take back control of our laws, our borders, and our money,
right,
when actually when actually she sold those things down the river. It is an absolute disgrace. And
Nigel,
you know something? We are angry.
Nigel, we got to leave it there. I love your passion, and I want you to keep up the fight. Again, it's a big one on both sides of the Atlantic.